Every citizen of India under Article 19(1)(a) of the Constitution has been given freedom of speech and expression. It means right to express one views and the opinion and belief about any kind of issue, and it can be done through any kind of medium such as by words of mouth, by writing, by printing, through picturization or through a movie. It does not mean the right to say whatever, whenever and wherever one likes. This right is often considered as the lifeblood of the democracy. All other fundamental rights without it can't exist. It is the bulwark of a healthy, progressive and democratic society. It leads to the production of the new ideas and knowledge and finding of the truth, building tolerance, and is essential for the self-rule. In the landmark case of Ramesh Thapar versus State of Madras, Patanjali Shastri pointed out as follows: the freedom and speech and of press lay at the foundation of all democratic organization, for without free political discussion, no public education so essential for the proper functioning of the process of the popular government is possible. Unlike US Constitution, Article 19(1)(a) does not expressively talk about the freedom of press, but it impliedly includes liberty of press. Justice Das in the Virendra versus State of Punjab said, "It is certainly a serious encroachment on the visible and the cherished right to the freedom of speech if a newspaper is prevented from publishing its own views or the views of its correspondents. In fact, right to fly a national flag freely with respect and dignity is included in Article 19(1)(a). Having said all that, our Constitution does not promise absolute freedom of speech and expression. Clause 2 of Article 19 mentions the ground on which the freedom of speech and expression may be restricted. These are as follows. First, sovereignty and integrity of India. Basically, under this, freedom of speech and expression can be curtailed if it is used to attack the territorial integrity and the sovereignty of the Union. It imposes restriction on the individual or the groups that instigate secessionist movement in the country. Secondly, security of the state. Any utterance intended or calculated to overthrow the government, waging of war, rebellion against the government, external aggression or the war may properly be restrained in the interest of the security of the state. The term security of the state has to be distinguished from the public order, for security of the state refers to the serious and aggravated forms of public disorder. Third, friendly relations with the foreign state. In order to have friendly relations with the foreign state, state can impose reasonable restriction on the freedom of speech and expression. Otherwise, a malicious propaganda against a nation state may jeopardize relations with a friendly state. Fourth, public order. Public order deals with public peace, safety, tranquility. Thus, a law punishing utterance made with the deliberate intention to hurt the religious feeling of any class of person is valid, as it imposes a restriction on the right of free speech in the interest of public order. Public order is also now being used by the state government as a ground for internet ban to prevent the malpractices in exam. Section 123(3)(a) of the Representation of the People's Act, which declares promotion or attempt to promote the feeling of enmity or hatred between different classes of the person on the ground of religion, race as corrupt practices in election, has also been justified on the ground of public order. But mere criticism of the government does not necessarily disturb public order. Fifth, decency of morality. It means absence of obscenity. Section 292 to 294 of the Indian Penal Code provide instances of restriction on freedom of speech and expression in the interest of decency or morality. These sections prohibit the sale or the distribution or exhibition of obscene words, etc. in public places. Supreme Court in Ranjit D. Udeshi versus State of Maharashtra upheld the conviction of a bookseller who was prosecuted under Section 292 IPC for selling and keeping the book lady Chatterley's lover. Sixth, contempt of court. As per the Section 2B and 2C of Contempt of Court Act 1971, there are two kinds of contempts: civil contempt and criminal contempt. Civil contempt means willful disobedience to any judgment, decree, direction, order, writ, or other process of a court or willful breach of an undertaking given to a court. While criminal contempt means the publication, whether by words spoken or written, or by sign or by visible representation or otherwise, of any matter or the doing of any other act whatsoever which scandalizes or tend to scandalize, lowers or tend to lower the authority of any court, or prejudice or interfere or tend to interfere with the due course of any judicial proceeding, or interfere or tends to interfere with or obstruct or tends to obstruct the administration of the justice in any other manner. In EMS Namudri Path case, the apex court pointed out freedom of speech shall always prevail except where the contempt of court is manifest, malicious or substantial. Seventh, defamation. Defamation, also known as slander or libel, which means to harm or to lower the reputation of another person in the mind of right thinking people of the society. It is a reasonable restriction on Article 19, as in the garb of exercising the right of freedom of speech and expression, one cannot defame other person. In fact, section 499 to 500 provides punishment for the defamation. Nobody has a right to disparage the other's right to person or reputation protected by Article 21. Eighth, incitement to an offense. Finally, freedom of speech and expression cannot be used for incitement to an offense by way of abatement, instigation and conspiring. So in short, we can say every citizen of India has been given freedom of speech and expression, but that right is not absolute and the government can impose reasonable restriction on the exercise of the same. If you like this video, kindly like and share it among your friends, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel.